Have you ever heard of upside down car loan? Well, if you just come on and hang out with me for the next 50 minutes, I'm going to unpeel this onion and give you some strategies if you happen to be in one. Welcome to the Make Sense with Your Money radio show. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to unpeel this onion, and it is an onion because there's many layers to this subject. And most people are in upside down car loans. Most of them don't have an idea that they're in an upside down car loan. How do they find out? Well, they usually find out when they're trying to get rid of the car, or somebody bring it to their attention. Or they figure, like, why is this balance never going? It's not going down. Why? Because you may be in an upside down car loan. All right. Some people refer to it as negative equity, but I like to call it an upside down car loan because it gives it more of a punch in your gut when you really get the revelation that that's what it is, right? What are some of the ways that um, that you're in an upside down, and how do you even get in it? Well, first one is look at the term of your loan. Are you in a loan where, maybe it's a term of 72 or 84 months? That can be a sign, because normally people, when you go to purchase a car, you know, in order to make the payment more affordable, the finance guy or person will stretch the loan out so that it can be more affordable for you. And like I said, it allows you to keep your monthly payments very low. All right. But you also end up still paying for a car that's 5 years old or more. Right. And payments that long definitely can't keep pace with inflation. So you already know that once the car leaves off the lot, all right, in the first year it depreciates 20%. So that's like what, $6,000-$7,000. Okay, that's number one. Number two, high interest. High interest is, that should have been number one, but the high interest rate that you get is what really puts you upside down, because no matter how much you paying monthly, because of the high interest, is not going to the principal. Your payment is not going to the principal. Maybe like $10. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe $10 is going to the, and I'm over exaggerating, but this is real talk. Maybe $100 is going to the principal balance of your loan, and the other balance, the other rest of your money is going to the interest. All right. So it's important, and I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. And I've got my notes here because I want to make sure I don't forget. I want to cover everything to make sure that I can help you understand. And that way you can look at your loan, and then you'll be able to say, okay, I'm in this. How do I get out? What's going to be my strategy? All right. So when you go into a car lot to go buy a car, especially if you're financing, because leasing is a little bit different. Leasing is different. But when you're financing, okay, and this, when you're financing, this tends to happen a lot because you're going in to buy the car. You're not leasing the car. And because you are in, people buy based off of their wants and not their need. So what does that mean? You usually end up getting, um, cars that you can't afford. That's what I'm saying. All right. So your pay more most of your payment ends up going towards your principal and not the interest. And because they may say, oh well, this is going to cost you about, I don't know, maybe, uh, especially with bad credit, and I'm going to get into that. Let me just not get ahead of myself. But if your credit ain't too great, or if you're going in there to get a luxury car, you can't afford, the payment is too high. And they said, oh, well, this payment is going to be like $1,000 or maybe 900. And they said, but I can stretch it out, and make it to like $800 a month, you know. However, these salespeople, they got strategies to make you think that, listen, you can do this. And that's what ends up happening. So you end up walking out of there with a payment that's too much. You don't know how. You scratching your head like, how did I end up letting them talk me into this? It happens. Okay. So that's number 2, high interest rate. Number 3, rollover loans. Now, this one is serious. All right. This one is very, very serious. A rollover loan. Okay. What do I mean by rollover loan? They will roll over the negative equity, right, on your old car into your new car loan. All right. And I'm going to get into all of this, but let me just get to how you end up getting into this situation. So you do the rollovers. So you have a car and you want to get rid of that car to go get another car. So your old car has a balance and they take it and they roll it over into the new loan. And they don't tell you all of the shenanigans that they pulled in order to get that rollover or what they did. I'll get to that in a minute. So that's one way. No money down loans, you know. Um, like I said, the car depreciates 20% and you lose 50% of the value by the third year. So no money down loans is another way. And also the unnecessary options. You add this on, you want the heated seats, you want the leather, you want this, you want that, because you boiling. You know what I'm saying? You boiling. So you want all the necessities. So all of this makes the price of the car, and you got all of this stuff plays a part in the price of the car and the deal. All right. But you may not be able to afford that car. All right. But like I said, you purchase it based on your wants and not your needs. And a lot of people do that. Okay. So that's why they end up in these cars that they can't afford. All right. Also, inadequate. I'm going to add this one. Inadequate research. I definitely want to add this because if you do your homework, you must do your homework before you go in. You have to know what you're working with. And sometimes you may not know, okay, what do I mean? Well, what your credit score look like? That's first of all. Now, you do know that you can walk into just about any car dealership and get a car with a bad credit score. They'll give you a car. They'll put you in a car. And the interest rate might be like 100%, but they'll put you in it. And because you going off of what you want, not what you need, you end up in this situation. So, and then these car dealerships, they are, broadcasting, oh, we can get you in the car no matter what your credit is. And they're telling the truth. So you must do your research. What do I mean? Okay, first of all, let's look at your credit score. You have no business even walking into a dealership if your credit score is not 700 and above. And I'm talking about a solid 7, because you want to be able to not end up in this scenario. I'm talking about a solid 700. Okay. What do I mean by a solid 700 credit score? Solid 700 credit score simply means that um you may have, because some people may have one account, they may have got somebody who authorized using, then they may have one credit card and the credit score is 700. Well, that's not really a 700 credit score. I mean, it's 700, but there's no foundation there. You need some solid accounts that you've had open for maybe like a year or more. You need to pack that credit to make you look sustainable. All right. 700 on one account that's been open for 6 months and maybe an authorized user, that is a shallow credit score. It's not stable. So when you go and try to apply for credit with a car loan, you still gonna fall in the subprime category. Let's tell the truth. So you want to be able to get your profile right. You want to work on your profile, and I can help you with that. That's number one. You want to look at the price of the car, all right? And you want to, they have these calculators that'll tell you how much your monthly payment is going to be. So you need to, I would advise you to do all of those scenarios. Okay, if I do this, if and you walk into the dealership, you can do well. I don't think you should do that, because if you ain't strong, they'll bull wolves you. They'll take over you. And you'll end up walking out without a car if you're not strong and aggressive. Like me, you can't. You have to have a strong personality, and so but watch this. So you want to be able to mess around with those calculators to see what your monthly payment would be like. And what you also should do is check out what your insurance is going to be. This is important, y'all. Let me tell you why. Because the car insurance is what really plays a major role in your payment. All right. Now, car insurance has become very, very, very expensive, especially in New York where I live. But why has it become very expensive? People are paying $700 to $800 a month for their insurance. Why? Well, I know for New York is a no-fault insurance state. Well, what do you mean, Cynthia? Well, it's a no-fault state. That means that no matter what or whose fault it is, and when somebody have a car, it don't matter whose fault it is. If you have a car insurance, you still get paid. That's what no fault means. And then we're not even going to talk about all of the other things that they may add in, like the sometimes there's medical costs associated with a insurance a car accident, and other losses that may be. I used to be a car insurance broker, so I know all of the little intricacies and the details and all of the stuff surrounding car insurance. But no fault means no matter whose fault it is, you still can get paid. So because of that, and also let's add on the high identity theft rate, especially in New York. Y'all know about that ring where people still doing it, riding around with no insurance with these Texas plates, but they really don't have no insurance. So all these components contribute to the high insurance. And it's not only in New York, because there are 12 other states that have adopted the no-fault insurance law. What are those states? It's not only New York, but it's Florida, Hawaii, Kansas City, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, and Utah. These are all of the states that have adopted the no-fault insurance law. Makes insurance very, very expensive. And it's just quite ridiculous. Okay. But anyway, so you're looking at high rates, like over $7,000 a year for full coverage. That adds out to like almost $800 a month. And that all depends. And look, watch this. And it also depends on your credit rating. Go figure. Your credit rating has a lot to do with how much you pay for insurance. Now that's full coverage. Let's bring it on down to liability. And if you got a nice, decent, well, I'm just saying, if you got a nice, decent car, and you got some assets, like you got a house, you should not be driving around with no liability insurance. Because if you don't have enough coverage on your car insurance policy, they coming after your personal assets. Just so you know. Anyway, so you must do your homework, y'all. Do your homework when you are shopping for a car. It ain't about trying to floss to be the boss. It's about making wise decisions and making sense with your money. Okay? All right. So you want to look at all of these components before you go and buy a car. Now, I want to make sure that I don't forget this. I'm gonna give you a prime example. And I how do you get out of an upside down car loan? Let's just let's go there. I want to make sure I cover everything. That's why I got my notes here because I don't want to forget because I want to give you everything that you need in order to escape this monster, right? How do you get out? How do you get out of an upside down car loan? Well, you have some options. What are your options? Okay. Um, four options. First one is to sell it. You can sell it privately. You do better selling it privately, and I'll get into that. Number two, you can trade it in. Got to be careful with that one. Number three, you can refinance it. Or number four, you can voluntarily surrender it. I do not recommend that. All right. So let's look at step one, selling it. You have all of these different type of uh what is it? Carvana, CarMax, Auto Trader, all of those companies that you can they'll offer you what your car is worth. I mean, you can go that route if they offer you, a good price. Okay. Um, when you go to their website, all you got to do is just type in your VIN number, answer a few questions, and they'll give you a quote. And if it ends up enough, they'll end up, they will do because my aunt did it and they came and they gave her, I think they was like on point, maybe $100 less than what the car was actually worth. But now, because of inflation, but this was like 4 years ago when she did this, I think 4 or 5 years ago. But now, because of inflation, I don't know because I have somebody that I know who just tried that. I have somebody else, and it's just way off. It's like 6,000 difference, 4,000 difference of the quote. So you can sell it through Carvana, or you can do it privately. I would recommend that you do it privately. But in doing privately, you have to make sure that you got to make sure that you have somebody with you. That's number one. If you're going to do it privately, you have to make sure that you do it accurately because there's so many horror stories of people, selling their cars privately only to get to the location and they end up getting robbed or something like that, and you don't want that. Okay. You So you want to make sure you have somebody with you. First of all, I wouldn't even meet anybody anywhere. It would have to be, I would probably do it at a precinct, make them meet at a precinct to do the exchange, make sure they have their money. I mean, there's certain components, and I can't get into all of that on the show, but you have to make sure that if you're going to sell it privately, you want to vet them first. Hello. You want to vet them and make sure that this is a legitimate inquiry, if you will. All right. So that's the first. That's one of the things that I would highly recommend if you're going to do it privately. Okay. Let me see. Looking at my notes. So all right. So and if you're doing it with one of those like a Carvana, you want to make sure you check their ratings on Airbnb. What not? I'm saying Airbnb. Better Business Bureau. You want to make sure that they have no complaints. Google them. You have to vet them. Vet means check them out. You want to look them up, make sure that the process was a smooth process. Whatever you decide to do, you want to do your investigations. Okay. All right. Let's go on to step two, which is trading. Okay. Trade it in. Now that's where we were talking about the rollover loans. Now, this one, the dealer will, like I said, offer you often roll over your negative balance. Let's just say you have a car and you have a balance on that car and it is upside down, but you want to go in and get another car. Okay. Or maybe you just have a balance and you just want to go purchase another car. So what they say, oh, that's no problem. We can roll that old loan into the new loan, right? This means that you're financing not only the new car, but the balance from the old car as well. Let me give you an example. This is a horror story. Okay. One of my clients, she wanted to get out of her loan, okay, her SUV, and she was upside down in the loan. All right. Her payment was like I don't know. It was like 7 something a month, I believe. I don't know. I forgot the payment. But anyway, she went to the dealer, and because she was upside down, the dealer was like, "All right, no worries. We can put you in another car. Um, you know, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe out most of that balance or all of the balance or whatever they told her." I think they told her it was like most of the balance. They was gonna wipe it out. She really wouldn't be carrying anything over into the new loan. Well, they've convinced her to do that, right? Well, they were not absolutely truthful in what they told her, because come find out, they did get her out of that upside down loan, but the balance that she had left was like over $10,000. So they took that, they put it in to, I think it was probably more than that, y'all. They put it into the new loan. The new loan that she got, because her credit was like 5 something, it was like an insult to injury. So now she got this car loan. Now, this is what they did, though, to sweeten it up. She was already paying 700 and something on the other loan, right? They gave her this car, but they stretched it out for like, look, 10 years. I'm exaggerating, right? I'm exaggerating. But they stretched the loan payment out so it didn't look like there was no damage done. So she ended up paying, now she's almost paying 900, she's paying 900 and some dollars a month for this car loan. But she don't know no better, because she thinking that they got rid of that. She was just so glad to get out of the car. But what they didn't tell her, that she was double upside down now. When I say double, she was double upside down. And instead of her calling me to let me see or discuss the transaction with me, she just went ahead and she did it. She just went ahead and just did it because she just wanted to do what she wanted to do. Well, that loan was so bad that they put her in. I mean, I don't care if she paid, listen, it'll take her 10 years to pay that. And it was upside down, though. It was all the way upside down. And I'm like, wow. So what we had to do was come up with a strategy to get her out of this situation. And she had no more extra money to apply to the principal to speedily pay this loan off, right? Because she was already capped out in her finances. So what does she do? What was her options? She was already not able to pay her monthly bills as it is. Now she got this monthly bill like, and now watch this. It's $900 some dollars. That's not including the insurance. Hello, somebody. Okay. So she's like, I can't do this. I need help, Cynthia. Okay. We working up the strategies. Okay. You know what she ended up doing? She ended up filing bankruptcy. Now, I didn't convince her to do that. I just told her what her options were. Okay. I told her what her options were. She opted to do bankruptcy. Bankruptcy was an option for her. Okay. Now, she could have, well, really was no other. I mean, once you look at the scenario, I mean, a bankruptcy was the better choice for her. Okay. Because she was at a point where she was just, bankruptcy was just better for her at that point. So we had to do what made sense. What made sense? You got to do what makes sense. Okay. Now, bankruptcy is not so bad. That's a whole nother topic for another show. All right. So that's what she ended up doing. So that's what I mean by when you trade it in, you have to know. You have to find out, because they'll tell you anything, and you need to make sure you look at those papers. You need to see, because they're slick in their mouth, and they'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge because they've been trained to do that. So you want to make sure you know what you're signing for. You want to know what the transfer is, how much money is going into that loan, how much they were able to wipe off and eat. Because if not, you're going to be in trouble. Let's go on to refinancing the loan. Number 3, refinance the loan. You can refinance the loan. Refinancing the loan means taking out a new loan to pay off the existing debt, right? Now, in order for you, it doesn't even make sense to refinance that loan, and you probably won't be able to refinance it. Matter of fact, you will not be able to refinance it if your credit is not right. Now, you may be able to go into a subprime loan and get it and refinance, like what is it? Upstart, I think it is. One of those loans. Those are subprime loans. You may find a bank that may want to do it, but what is the use in coming out of one bad loan going into another? You need to get your credit fixed before you even begin to entertain all of that. Work on the credit. It's the only thing that makes sense. You have to get your credit right so that when you refinance, you can get a lower interest rate. Let me give you another example. Had a client, right? Because refinance just means that you refinance a loan to get a better rate, better payment, monthly payment. So I had a client, right? She came to me to get a credit done, and of course, I like to call it oh God, I like to call it doing an audit. I do an audit when I look at somebody's credit report. I like to look at the accounts, see what type of accounts they have. Not only just looking to see, but I do the whole audit. So I was looking at this car loan, and I'm like, wow, you're paying a lot for that car loan. And she was telling me that, yeah, and because her credit wasn't great, but she needed the car. Okay, that's fine. And I know some people do that, but you got to have a plan to get out of that. If you do it, if you do it, and you're in it for 6 months, you can turn your credit around in 6 months. Trust me. That means you're not in that bad loan for a long period of time. You're only in it for maybe 6 months. That should be cold if you do it, or quick as possible, even 3 months. You can do a lot with your credit in 90 days. Okay. But anyway, she said, Cynthia, that's why I got the loan. But here we are. We 5 years. Is it 5 years into this loan? Yeah. She was 5 years into this loan. She's paying $756 a month. And guess what? The balance on that vehicle really didn't go nowhere. It didn't go anywhere. She was still, maybe she was like, maybe if it went down, maybe like 3,000 in 5 years, if it even went down that much. I'm telling you. So she had no idea. I said, this is an upside down loan that you're in. And I said, you will never end up finish paying with this loan, paying for this loan. We got to get you out of here. Okay. So the plan was to get that credit right, get that credit up, because we're not even going into another dealership until we can get this credit up. So when you go in there, you're going in there with power. Come on, you going in there and you're going to you'll be able to go in there, and now you can command what you want because you got the right score. You can't just let them give you anything. Well, I'm so happy to report that this one turned out to be a success story because we were able to get her scores up within 6 months, 5 months. Yes, we were able to get the scores up because she had some late payments on that car because it was too much for her to pay. She couldn't afford it. 5 years. Now, not only that, she was able to start shopping around. At one point, I said, okay, now you can start shopping for a new vehicle, because I knew that I had got them scores up and we was like on the brink of success with them scores. The scores had went up like 100 points, and, we was doing our thing, working together to get these scores up. I was telling her what to do, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she started going to dealerships and seeing who would buy her car, because her car was in good shape. She hardly ever drove it. But anyway, she was able to get a dealer that was willing to take her car and sell it, or whatever you call it. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. And give her a new car. Do you know they was able to offer her an amount, and I think it was only like $2,000 less of what the value was? and they put her in a new car, and she put that down payment down, and whatever that 2,000, whatever they did, but it was no more than $3,000 that she had to put out, but they worked it. And I was able to look at that paperwork to make sure that she was not being bamboozled. It was a it was a success story. All right. It don't always turn out like that. But she got out of that car, got into her new car. Her payments was like 4 and change a month. So let me hear the church say amen. Okay. $400 some a month. She was able to get her insurance, and there you go. There you go. All right. So that makes sense, y'all. We gotta learn how to make sense with our money. We gotta make sense. All right. So anyway, she sold her car to the dealership, and it worked out in her favor. All right. Number three, uh, what I said, okay, the three was refinance. Number four, well, that's voluntary surrender. I don't recommend doing that. Um, so now watch this. If you voluntarily surrender the car, right, then they won't repossess it. So a voluntary surrender is the same as a repossession, but the only thing it'll say voluntary, you giving the car back. But you basically, what's the difference? Repossessing, they're gonna take the car, they come and take it from you, and they sell a car, and whatever they sell it for, which is usually not a lot, the balance that's left, you have to pay it. You do better just trying to do it on your own, because they're not trying to get, I mean, they're trying to get the best amount for the car. All right. You're responsible for the rest. So you make a deal to pay it, or they sue you for it. Either one. You make your choice. Okay. But anyway, I don't recommend doing that. It's better that you try to do it on your own. And if you know, I guess you talk to the right people, have a strategy, you can get out of it. Okay. Some people may not want to do bankruptcy. They may think that's too drastic, you know. But if you have a strategy, you can get rid of that car. But now here is another thing, though. Here is another thing. That is a problem. You sell the vehicle, and I have another client, two clients that's going through this right now. They want to sell the vehicle. They want to get out of the loan, right? Because they just they just simply can't afford it. Why? Because of the insurance. Okay. So let me give you the example from one client. One of my clients, she just didn't want to get rid of the car. This is what she said. Now, the reason why now this is not, well, she's kind of upside down a little bit. Not too bad, but she's upside down in the loan because the cars depreciate. So now she's trying to sell it, and they're not offering her. Matter of fact, I think they almost like $9,000, $8,000 off of what maybe like seven, something like that, $7,000, $8,000. What the value off of what the value is. So what she said, listen, and her payment is like 4 and change, which is not too bad. But the insurance is the problem. That insurance is kicking her all left, right, and center. So what she did was she parked her car. Look what she did. Her car's parked. She turned in the plates, and she said, Cynthia, I need to get my credit right. I'm going to get my credit scores up so that I can get a better insurance rate, because they want to charge her like $800 a month for insurance. And she had an accident, but the accident I think was past the 4 years or 5 years. So let me tell you what I recommend. I said, listen, you need to go take that 5-hour class or whatever it is. Most people don't like you to get on the insurance. So, I mean, I told you can opt to get on somebody else's insurance, but she's not so old. She's kind of young. All right. And, people don't like to take chances with these young people with driving. So what she did was she said, I'm going to park my car, which is what she did, is park, no plates on it. And she paying the note every month, but the insurance is what the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. So she's getting the credit scores up so that she can opt to get a better insurance policy. And she's also thinking about insuring a car in another state. Okay. So she's doing that because she can't afford the insurance. Mm, okay. Now, um, it all depends on what your scenario is. I have another client who has a car and she just wants to get out of the loan because the insurance is too high and she thought she can handle it and she can't handle it. Okay. She can't handle it. So she's tried all of these other Carvanas and all of them, and they're like $4,000 off of what she to pay the full car off. And so what she's gonna do is she's gonna save up her money, which she's like right there, and she's going to add the difference because she has buyers and she has offers, but she cannot um, sell that car. Watch this, y'all. She have to be able to pay off the title completely in order to sell a car to the buyer. So even if you do get an offer, you can't just take the money. You got to be able to have the money to add to that so that the transfer of title can be done. You understand? So that's where she's at. So her car too is parked. She's still paying the note, but she's about, I want to say, maybe a month away from having her $4,000 of what she needs in order to make up the difference. See what I'm saying? So you gotta have a strategy. Don't go into this thing blind. And you need to think about all of this before you even get the car. Because people, like I said, you buy based off of your wants. And your wants get you in trouble. They get you in trouble. Yeah, they get you in trouble. Okay. So let's be wise about our decisions. Make sense with your money. All right. Um, so how do I uh sum this up? Okay. You want to make sure that you really, really do your investigation. You want to really look at what your options are, even before you get in the car. If you in the car, how did you get out? Okay, let's lay this thing down. Listen, I'll be more than willing to sit down and help you work this thing out. But the first thing that you have to do is you have to look at your credit. That's just what you have to do. Your credit is the number one thing that you know you want to look at because your and I'm going to show you something right now. I'm going to show you something. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. I want to show you something. Um, okay. This is going to help you, right, in your um and fixing your credit. All right. Now, you may want to come and see me personally. You want to give me a call, that's fine. But I have a plan that you can do it on yourself. Do it yourself at your own pace because I know people are tight right now with their finances and this might help you. So what is this? This is basically it's called supercharge your credit scores, right? Basically, it allows you to do it for $25 a month, but you're doing it at your own pace. You have to do it yourself. And I'm basically walking you through how to get your scores up. It tells you how to remove inquiries, collection accounts, student loans, late payments, but it's like a two-part course. It's not what I'm saying, two parts, but it allows you to work on your personal credit, but it also allows you to know how to start to build your business credit as well. So it's something that you can really help you in your credit journey, I don't know where you are. I don't know if you maybe can afford to do. You may want to see me and, just say, no, what, Cynthia, I don't want to do it on my own. I would rather have you do it and I'll pay you, blah, 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 blah. You can always call our office, 718-412-5175, or you can send us an email, support@makesensewithyourmoney.com. Okay. However you want to do it. But anyway, this is an affordable way that you can work on your credit report. $25 a month, you can begin to increase your scores so that you can come out of the problem that you're in. Even if this don't pertain to you, you just want to fix your credit scores. This is a very low introductory rate to do it. All right. Cost you only $25 a month, but you do it at your own pace. And you're getting to learn something. That way, if you get into a problem with your credit, you don't have to come back to me again, because I have a lot of repeat customers, y'all. A lot of repeat customers. You don't have to be a repeat customer. Do it yourself. And that way you get to learn something new. All right. So again, the link is right here. HTTP, you can go to my link tree, actually. It's easytree.me/make sense. And when you click on that, the first link that you see is going to be the link that'll show you how to supercharge your credit scores for only $25 a month. Okay. So with that being said, that is the number one strategy. Because if you're in an upside down loan, that means that your credit is not that great. And, you need to get out of it. In order to get out of it, because if you're in an upside down loan, if your credit was great, then all you got to do is just go get out of it. But if your credit is not great, you trying to figure out how you're going to get this done. I just gave you what the options are. Okay. If bankruptcy is something that you're thinking about doing, give me a call. There's a lot of misconceptions about bankruptcy, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but people are, you're listening to the wrong people, or you may not really know how the process works. But bankruptcy is not as bad as you think it is. Okay. But anyway, I've given you all of my information. You can go on the website. We can do a consultation. If you're looking for, maybe the car issue is not your problem, or you have some other issues you may want to get some strategies about, you can go on my website, www.makesensewithyourmoney.com, and you can schedule a consultation with me. Okay. And we could take it from there, because watch this. And my consultation, right? The only consultation that I give free is for life insurance. My consultation is $49.99, okay, for 30 minutes. Why? Because I've given out free consultations, and I've done it, and I'm not doing it anymore, because I end up giving out so much information, and then people just, they take advantage of it, and it just doesn't stop. My time is valuable. Okay. I've done that, giving out free consultations for what? Matter of fact, I just started charging for my consultations this month. So for the 20 years that I've been in business, I've been giving away free consultations. And anybody will ask you, because a lot of people have done business with me, and they will let you know, oh, yeah, Cynthia, she just give you everything. Well, now my time is valuable. I cannot do that anymore. So you can get a half-hour consultation for $49.99, and I will tell you and help you to come up with a strategy for whatever financial situation you may be in. And let me say this, people have mentors. Even Oprah got a mentor. All those people that you find, celebrities, not even celebrities, well, celebrities, I'm going to use them for example. CEOs, successful people, they have financial coaches. They have financial mentors because they don't specialize in money. They specialize in doing what they do. Oprah is a business person, so she specializes in business, but she don't specialize in money. That's why she hired somebody to help her with her money. And that's one thing that most of us fail to do because maybe we feel that, oh, why pay for it? Well, that's why you're in the situation that you're in because you don't want to pay for it. You know, you feel that, maybe you can Google it and or you can YouTube it and get it and still get inaccurate information because most of those people, everybody is AI and everything. So you ain't got to use your brain no more. You getting this information from computers and the information is inaccurate. You got these overnight sensations that ain't been in business. Ain't nobody vetting them. So you get what you pay for. Oh, you get what you don't pay for. Hello, somebody. So I hope that what I've been able to share with you, that you can use it. Because I really hate to see, people, in that situation. Um, If you have any questions, I've given you the telephone number. You have the website, www.makesensewithyourmoney.com. Email support@makesensewithyourmoney.com. Telephone number 718-412-5175. I think that's what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. You can actually, next week, we'll be on again, 7 p.m. Tune in, share the video if you know somebody that's going through it. And thank you so much for your support. Okay? All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to you that you have a blessed, all right? Now listen to me. I want you to have a blessed week, right? A blessed week. I want you to have a prosperous week. And also, I want, before you sit down and talk to anybody about what you should do, make sure that is a professional, especially when it comes to your money. All right. With that being said, tune in next week. Look forward to seeing you. Have a good night.